Hello there, my fellow overthinkers and future meditation masters, and everyone else in between. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to dive into the world of calmness, clarity, and learning how to just chill. That's the focus. We're talking about meditation, and this video is intended for beginners, people who are just starting out, people who think that they can't sit still, and yes, even for those ones that feel like their brain is a squirrel on espresso. Okay, let's get started. Alrighty, so let's kick things off with the burning question that most people feel of: why would I meditate? I know you're busy. I know. You got a million other things to do, other places you got to put your focus on. So you're wondering, do I really need to sit there in silence? What is that going to do for me and the precious time that I just wasted? Well, here's the thing. Meditation for your brain is like a reset button for your brain. You know how when your phone gets really weird after you haven't turned it off, or your computer gets really weird and clunky when you haven't turned it off in over a month? That's kind of like how your brain operates too. So when you do meditation and you build a meditation practice, it's helping clear out that mental junk and improves your focus and makes you better at tackling the things that you do and the things that we call life, chores that we call and do in our life. Studies also show that it helps with stress, it helps with anxiety, it helps with focus, and a whole bunch of other things. And plus, the wise folks of traditional Chinese medicine that have practiced this for thousands of years say that it keeps your qi, your energy, flowing smoothly. And I mean, who doesn't want smooth flowing qi? In traditional Chinese medicine, emotions play a very big factor in how our body functions and what it does to the energy of our body. Are humans, so we are meant to experience all emotions on that spectrum. But the problem in TCM is when we feel too much of one emotion rather than kind of equally feeling them all. I know it's impossible to feel them completely equally, so there is always some skew to one emotion or whatever, but we want to try and have a good balance of these emotions. Like if you have a really joyful time and it's a prolonged joyful time, it can really later on slow down the movement of qi in your body. So you need the help of other emotions to kind of keep your body in balance. So feeling too much of even a good emotion can be bad for you. If you are fearful for a really long period of time, that can be through trauma or whatever that's going on in your life. I don't know, right? But that can cause fear, that the fear can cause qi to descend down into like your pelvic region, and then we can get some abnormalities in that region. Or if you have a propensity to get angry a lot and that's like your top emotion, anger rises, and hence why I'm not saying all, but a lot of angry people get a lot of headaches because that heat and qi in your body is rising up to the head and at the top point. So it's a lot of energy that gets risen. So you can experience headaches as a secondary symptom to being angry all the time. Mindfulness practice of meditation within your daily routine can help keep a very balanced flow of energy within our body that keeps the qi being distributed well throughout our body. Whereas if you were to feel one emotion mostly, it would have a different effect in the body. You are a chronic overthinker, such like me, the energy in our body, the chi in your body tends to knot in certain areas of your body. So that knotting of that energy can cause formations of cysts and such. And if you're not having proper flow because there's a knot in somewhere in your body, you cannot have proper flow of chi throughout the body. So again, you want to practice mindfulness to help build smooth flowing chi in your body. Okay, so let's say that you're sold on this whole concept and you're like, okay, I want to start. Where? Now what? What's next? How do I even get into this? This seems like such a daunting process. Well, I'm going to introduce you to a few basic techniques to kick things off, or should I say to kick things off totally calm and tranquil way. Ooh, that was bad. But anyways, first up, there's a good old mindful breathing. And this one is really, really good for in the moment when you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like everything around you is a little too much. It is so important to remember to take about 30 seconds, it doesn't take very long, to do some mindful breathing to center yourself again. Because when we feel overwhelmed, we tend to stop breathing with our diaphragm and doing those belly breathing, and we tend to do short, very shallow breathing just with our accessory muscles by our chest. So, number one, if you can find a comfortable place to sit, you would find a comfortable place to sit where you can close your eyes. And then you would focus on breathing. Feel each breath. Focus on the belly inhale and belly out. So here's the trick for breathing. You find a comfortable place to sit if you can, if you have the capacity to wherever you are. If not, stand there, close your eyes. Step 2, close your eyes. And then just breathe. Focus on the inhales and exhales of your breath. I know that sounds super simple and something super basic, but it has amazing, amazing benefits. And that's the beauty of it. This is a really simple step that you can implement in a flash, in a second, to regulate your brain, regulate your nervous system. And you'll soon realize that focusing on your breath, breathing for a solid 5 minutes works wonders on a stressed out brain. If you have a little more time, you can add more things like box breathing or the 4-7-8 method, which I discussed in my previous video. I'll kind of touch base on it again now. For box breathing, I use this personally and it works wonders for me. The optimal seconds for a box breathing is 5. So you would do a 5-second inhale, 5-second hold at the top, 5-second exhale, 5-second hold at the bottom, 5-second inhale, and then repeat the cycle. You would do this type of breathing for as long as you can before you kind of feel like you're running out of breath, because it does put strain on, not strain, but like it makes you really think about your breathing, and it really centers you into your body rather than being up here or being overwhelmed by your surroundings. So that's a really, really great way. 4-7-8 method is 4-second inhale, 7-second hold, and 8-second exhale. And then you repeat that again. So whichever breathing exercise works for you, works for you. There's plenty others that are out there of like a double inhale and a long exhale, or a proper inhale with a double exhale. Like there's so many different ones out there. You just got to find which one works for you and which one centers you back down. And when you're feeling really overwhelmed, this is an amazing technique to put into practice if you can remember. Of meditation also is a lot of visualization techniques, but I feel like that dives in the more realm of manifestations, and we'll cover that in a separate video at a later time. You might be thinking, how do I integrate this into my life? How do I become these blissed out yoga meditators that are on social media? How do I put this into practice? Number one, recognizing that you need to take deeper breaths, recognizing that you're overwhelmed, recognizing that you just need 30 seconds to yourself in your daily situation or wherever you are. So figuring that out is step number one. Another way that you can build this practice is doing two to 3 or 3 to 5 minutes in the morning as soon as you wake up out of bed. That's when your brain is still kind of waking up and your brain waves are still kind of in that beta alpha zone, and you're just waking up is basically what I'm trying to say. And so your mind is more impressionable right before you go to bed and right after you wake up from bed. So if you continue putting your brain at ease like this as a daily practice in the mornings or at night, it helps your brain recognize and builds that circuit in your brain of, okay, this is what we're doing this to calm me down. And you can do this also when you're waiting for your coffee to brew or when you're sitting in the car. Just take a moment for yourself. Not saying do this while you're driving, but when you're parked, when you just reach your destination and you're about to get out of your car, instead of jumping right out of your car, take those 2 to 3 minutes and take those deep breaths, focus on your breathing. And yeah, so tip number 2, you can, everybody's got their handy dandy phones. You can put reminders onto your phone, or if you have an Apple Watch, you have little things of like take a deep breath and all that. So you can set reminders, you can put sticky notes on your mirrors, something like breathe, you got this, 5 minutes of Zen right now. You can put those reminders or alarms on your phone, and that's another easy way to implement and integrate it into your daily life. I really like the phone alarm way, just because you forget sometimes, or when you put stickies, you kind of just gloss them over. When you have an alarm, you have to turn it off, and so when you're in that action of turning it off, you're able to, okay, let me just do this so that I'm not skipping or bypassing it completely. And then tip number 3 is kind of tying back into number 1 that I gave, is find your meditation time. Some people love doing it first thing in the morning, and others prefer to do it right before bed. People that prefer doing it right before bed are usually ones that they want to let go and release of everything from the day so that they can get restful sleep. And people in the morning, they can use it as a way of setting up their brain and training their brain to have a great day. Like if you feel like you get overwhelmed really easily, or if you have a big meeting coming up, putting that in the morning would allow your brain to start off at a very neutral, calm state instead of being hyped up for the big events or big meetings that are coming up. And that consistency of a meditation practice is the key, because you are training your mind and your body to learn how to relax. And at first it won't be easy, but the more you practice it and the more you put it into practice and you do it, you show that consistency, you show up for yourself, you show up for your brain, and that is when you will start noticing the effects kind of spill outwards as you make that internal change. For this little section, we're actually going to try doing a short meditation together, and you don't have to be perfect at it, you don't have to do it right per se, you just have to do you and be you in this moment. Okay, so I'd like you to close your eyes, starting by taking a deep belly breath in, starting from your belly. Fill up all the way of your belly and then into your lungs, to the top of your lungs, and then very slowly let it out, starting from the top of your lungs, through your lungs, and then into your abdomen. Keep your eyes closed and continue taking breaths like this, where you start with the belly, inhale, using your diaphragm, filling up your lungs all the way to the top of your lungs, and then slowly letting it out from the top to bottom again. During this time, you may have thoughts pop up, and imagine these thoughts to be like little clouds in your head, and allow these thoughts to just flow by. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to attach to that thought, whether it's an emotion or a thought or to-do list. You don't need to do anything about them. Just see them floating by and then continue focusing on those inhales and those exhales. You're doing great. Don't overthink it. Keep those eyes closed and keep breathing. And one last big inhale. And exhale. And there you go. That's meditation, or the beginnings of a meditation for sure. Well, that was your first meditation, or maybe one of your meditations, but there you have it. That is an easy way to start meditating, and even if you're super busy, and even if you're totally skeptical of what meditation is and its benefits. But I would like to challenge you this week. Try this daily for a week, and just for a few minutes a day, put it into practice. Come back and share your experience in the comments and let me know if you found a moment of calm or if it was still really, really hard to do, which is totally okay too. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on trying to stay calm, taking life on with grace, and maybe occasionally totally losing it, because that's okay too. We're human in the end, right? See you next week.